Hello, this is Dr. McFarland coming at you from Diamond Lake, Michigan. And today I'd like to present to you my guitar playing basics video. In this video we will cover left hand technique, right hand technique, basic playing positions, and basic chords. So sit back and get out your guitar and try and play along, and let's have some fun. When playing guitar, your left hand technique is very important. You want to position your hand in such a way that's comfortable that you can reach all of the notes easily and with good tone. Think of like you're holding a baseball. You have your thumb behind the ball and the rest of your fingers are curved around the ball, so it makes like a C shape. Now when you put your hand on the neck of a guitar, you're going to keep that same form with your thumb down and your wrist flexible so it moves back and forth easily. And then the rest of your fingers are curved over onto the strings, playing on the tops of your fingers and not the pad close to the joint, but the top. So if I were to play a simple scale, notice how my fingers are curved over and my thumb is down, my wrist is bent and able to move forward. And that is the left hand technique. For the right hand technique, we're going to cover two basic positions. The first one is strumming, and the second one is plucking the strings. Now when you strum a guitar, your elbow should be positioned on the edge of the guitar, and then your hand should center around the sound hole. And when you strum, you're going to strum down towards your leg and up towards your chin. And that smooth swinging motion. You have a choice when you're strumming. You can either hit the strings going down and hit the strings coming back up, or only hit them on the way down and not on the way back up. Okay? In order to go down, obviously you have to go back up to reposition your arm to go back down. So I'm going to strum the strings with no chords. I'm just going to mute the strings by laying my fingers on the strings without pressing down. So let me do quarter notes first. I'm going to strike the strings going down, but on the way back up, I'm not going to strike the strings. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now in the same motion, if I were to do eighth notes, which means hitting the strings on the downstroke and hitting the strings on the upstroke. So I'm playing on the first half of the beat and the second half of the beat. And it goes like this. Okay, now for 16th notes, I'm going to try a little different example. I'm going to play an eighth note on the first half of the beat and 2/16ths on the second half of the beat. And you notice the quicker the rhythm, the smaller the movement of the arm. It's not going to swing as wide as you would with quarter notes. So I'm going to stay within the width of the strings here for my 16th note strums. So the rhythm is going to be 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. The 1 is on the downbeat and the and is on the upbeat, and the is the last 16th of the beat. Slowly, here it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 So if I break that down even smaller, I'm playing a downstroke for the downbeat, then raising my arm back up, then preparing for the 2/16 notes, the first one for the downstroke and the second one for the upstroke. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So hopefully you've noticed that my positioning for my arm is still swinging smoothly up and down. It's not a choppy motion, but a smooth swinging motion. And the faster you strum, the smaller the motion you want. Now let's talk about the second technique for your right hand, which is called alternate picking. And just like strumming, you have downstrokes and you have upstrokes. So let's position the hand for proper right hand technique of plucking the strings. Now if you look at your hand, you have the meat on your thumb side and you have the meat on your pinky side. You're going to take the meat right here on your pinky side, and where the strings cross over the saddle and also on the pins on the bridge here, you're going to place it right after the saddle and before the pins, but not resting on the strings. And when you pluck a string, it's going to be a wrist movement and not a full arm movement. So your forearm is going to actually stay still. So for example, let me pluck the low E string open. Then I'm going to go down with my wrist. Then also I'm going to go up with my wrist. So that is called alternate picking. Simply going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now let's do this on the rest of the strings. On the A string, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. The D string, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. The G string, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. The B string, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And the E string, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now let's combine the left hand technique with the right hand plucking technique. And for this we're going to call the chromatic exercise. I'm going to position my first 4 fingers on the first 4 frets. So when my first finger plays, it's going to be on the 1st fret. My second finger is going to be on the 2nd fret. My third finger is going to be on the 3rd fret. My 4th finger is going to be on the 4th fret. And make sure your thumb is down and your wrist is able to move back and forth freely. Now when I pluck, I'm going to pluck each note 4 times using the alternate picking method. Going down, up, down, up. Second finger, down, up, down, up. Third finger, down, up, down, up. Fourth finger, down, up, down, up. Now for this exercise, once you play a finger, I want you to keep it down. What that is going to do is going to strengthen the muscles in your hand and loosen up your tendons and stretch them out. This is going to help you in the long run to form chords and play other scales, and in the future develop speed. But for now, play as slow as you can and comfortably as you can, and really train your hand to do what you need to do. So for the rest of the chromatic scale, you want to play in 3 different positions. You got the 1, 2, 3, 4 frets. That's the first position. The second position is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the third position is going to be 9, 10, 11, 12. So you got 4 fingers, 3 different positions, and what's 4 times 3? It's 12 notes, just like the chromatic scale. So if you were to play all 3 positions, you would play all 12 notes. So let me show you this for an example. On the bottom E string, we have the open E, then the first fret is F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and E. So we started with E, then we ended with E on the 12th fret. And there's 12 frets and there's 12 half steps in a chromatic scale. So if you can play all 3 positions, there's all 12 notes. Now if we were to repeat this on the rest of the strings, let's just pluck each note one time, but still use alternate picking. So I'm going to play A, then A sharp, then B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. On the D string, we got the open D, and then D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. On the G string, we have G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. On the B string, we have C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B. And on the top E string, we have E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. And try and keep your notes smooth and connected all the way up. And you always want to shift your arm from your elbow. It's not a whole body shift or just a whole arm shift. But try and keep your elbow close to your body. And when you're down on the lower part of the fretboard, your arm is going to extend out. Then when you shift to the middle position, simply just move from your elbow, keeping all your fingers over the frets and curved over with your thumb down. Then to the upper position, pivot from your elbow, keeping your hand in the same position. So let me do this a little faster on the top E string, just for example. That concludes the basics for the left hand and right hand playing techniques. Now if you practice this every day for 30 minutes, you will be more than prepared to start playing chords, other scales, and even start to learn songs. I hope you stay diligent with your practicing every day, because that's what's going to help you in the long run.